Welcome, everybody, to Tectonic Takes. This is your regular co-host, Favian Renkel. I've been a little busy lately. I moved to a brand new country, but Ivan unfortunately can't make it today. He is at a wedding, so we have our trusty co-host, Will. How you doing, Will? What's up, man? Welcome back.
Oh, yeah, dude, it's great to finally be doing one with you, man. I mean, we've been waiting a long time, and the time is here, so let's get it.
Yeah, the first one down. You know, we have a long friendship. We've worked together. We went to school together, so I've known Will for a long time. And it's actually really cool that Will told me that he wanted to be on this podcast because we definitely had a slot for him. So this is fun. We're finally going to get to do one, and it's going to be a good time. It's going to be a quick one, but it's going to be a good time.
Yes.
All right, so quickly into it. We want to dedicate this little podcast to Dale Grove. He's a memory of the soccer community that all of us podcasters within the Beautiful Game Network are supporting during this difficult time. Daryl was battling stage 4 colon cancer. A link to their GoFundMe will be in the description. The GoFundMe is close to their goal, and every dollar helps. If any of you guys have seen the Total Soccer Show, he was one of the main co-hosts on that show. I know I've listened to it before, and Will, you've probably listened to it as well. So please, if you have a second, if you have a little extra cash to give, every dollar counts to help them out. And I want to give a second to say thanks to the Beautiful Game Network for going ahead and sponsoring us, as well as Roughneck Scarves. If you need any scarves or if you want to make a scarf, please check them out. This is a hard time for the Quakes. I know we're going through a 0-0 draw with the Seattle Sounders as well. So we just want to go ahead and see if we can talk about this game as much as we can remember it, right? 0-0 draw seems like it's going to be a MLS 1.0 outing. What do you think of that, Will? What do you think of the 0-0 draw?
I mean, for the Quakes and the Quakes fans, I mean, Seattle is, the top-tier team out of the West, so getting a 0-0 draw was, probably one of the better outcomes that we could ask for. So, I mean, to get a tie, to get a point, obviously, with this big playoff push that we're trying to make is it's a great thing that for the Quakes to get that done.
Yeah, we the biggest thing about that game was we shut down Jordan Morris. I got some flashbacks when he was on flow, and then he kind of passed the ball instead of shooting it on that one where he went straight to the goalie, and JT kind of missed it. But yeah, I got flashbacks to the last time where he just burnt Flo Youngworth. But I thought, you know what, this time it's not going to happen.
Yeah, I mean, it's great to see. I mean, Jordan Morris is, since his injuries that he's had in the past, he's coming out to be, the player that, when he came out of Stanford, that's what the player that the Seattle Sounders wanted from him. And he's finally doing really well for them. So it's really good that he didn't get on the score sheet for once. So we'll take that.
Or even if he didn't make a highlight play, right? Because they always make highlight plays on us, and it sucks seeing those MLS highlights just bite us in the butt every time we come around.
Right.
Yeah, and basically this 11 that we saw was not really too different, right? We saw Alanis in there finally, instead of I'm losing the name right now. Beeson, Tanner Beeson, thank you. And then a usual lineup. Did you think anything of the lineup?
I was actually surprised to see, obviously, Alanis in. We did see him a couple games ago against I can't even think of a couple games ago that
the Galaxy
he played it. No, I don't know if it was the Galaxy game, but if it was the game we lost. So now we lost, but
LAFC
against Portland.
Portland.
Yeah, yeah. Jeez, we'll get it. But yeah, so we saw Alanis against Portland, and I thought I didn't believe he played very well, and maybe just because it was his first game back. That's why he was struggling, of course, after getting off injury. Yeah, definitely a little rusty. So I was surprised to see him just because he'd been talking about how Beeson has been doing very well and contributing very well to this team for being a first-round pick for us this year.
Yeah, I was watching a little bit of, I think, some videos on YouTube about the War Room and Jesse Fiornelli's kind of basically what he does to draft. But I remember when Imperiale was actually on our podcast, he was talking about how Tanner Beeson was their guy and that they've been looking at him for about 4 years. So when they got Tanner Beeson, they must have been ecstatic if Imperiale knew about this kid that's up and coming and they want to bring him in. So it was odd that they kind of let him take the back seat in this and they let Alanis came in. But, they did pay for Alanis, right? He's a pretty expensive loan from Chivas. So it makes sense why he is coming in, right?
Yeah, and I mean, I think that and probably Matthias at the end of the day, or excuse me, at the beginning of the season is the guy that he wants in the lineup. So I mean, it's not a surprise, but I thought maybe you're just going to kind of play with the hotter hand kind of thing, especially
Yeah,
during now. Yeah, so especially during this time.
definitely. And this is kind of a little bit of some notes that we have here. Midfielder Christian Espinoza has a team high 7 assists, tied for fourth most in the MLS. His 20 assists since the start of the 2019 season, also ranked tied for fourth in MLS. So Espinoza making a difference and where we stand right now, right? Without him, we wouldn't be where we're at. What do you think of Espinoza so far this year, Will?
Yeah, Ivan and I talked about previous about Espinoza's play, and I'm hoping I talked about how I won 10 assists out of Espinoza, hopefully by these next couple of games here. So obviously he didn't get one last game, but like I said, no Espinoza, the Quakes will not be the same. So he's the biggest factor in the Quakes for sure, no question.
Yeah, and then security and goal. Homegrown goalkeeper JT secured his third shutout of the season and fourth of his MLS career. He has now recorded a shutout in 3 of his last 4 matches and holds a 4-1-2 record in 7 of starts this season. Making an impact in goal. What do you think, Will?
Yeah, no question. We finally, or at least could say that JT is going to be there. There should be no controversy, no question. Obviously, if he's staying healthy, he's going to be started for the Quakes.
So you think he's remaining the starter forever? We're not going to see Vega at all, maybe next season, playoffs, nothing.
No, I mean, why? There's no justification. Like, oh yeah, Vega did so well during. It's just there's nothing there. JT's got it. I mean, unless JT does like something off the field where there's nothing. He's got to stay there.
Well, definitely from what Wando said in his interview when that whole Black Lives Matter for change was going on, when the MLS stopped playing that day, JT was actually one of the vocal leaders in the locker room. So I don't think he's losing that job due to leadership because I think he's already a leader in the locker room, that he can be a leader on the field as well. And Matthias can't really take anything away from him anymore. He has the goals, or not the goals, I'm sorry, the blocks. He has the clean sheets. He has the starts, and he has the leadership, as we know since the Wando interview. The next thing we want to go over is actually a very big milestone. It was the 300th start for forward Chris Wondolowski. That's for the Quakes, becoming the 3rd player in MLS history to reach this milestone for a single club. Nick Raimondo and Kyle Beckerman were the only other 2, and they both played for RSL. But he's the only player that accomplished the feat with his original MLS club. So that's a nice little nice little tidbit there.
Yeah.
We building a statue yet, or what? Like, what's going on?
I mean, definitely one's going to be built. I'm surprised it's only 300th. I felt like obviously Wando's been there for like ever. So so 300. It's like that's it. It should be like 5 at this point.
Yeah. So that's insane. I just want to see him on the score sheet. I still want him to get 10 goals this year. He's almost there, right? There was some link-up plays, I know, in the LA Galaxy game where if he was in the certain position that he usually is in, he would have a goal on the score sheet.
Yeah, I mean, we've been seeing your boy Andy Rios. I finally get to talk to you about your favorite player on the Quakes. I've been dying to hear you compliment Andy Rios on how he's been playing lately.
There had to be something. I mean, he played for Club America, right? So there has to be something that they saw in him, and he was going off in the preseason. So I was like, where's his format? I mean, he's such a streaky player. He's almost like the Belt of the MLS, at least, or the Brandon Belt for all you guys Giants fans out there. The streakiest player in baseball. Hits 450 with 10 home runs in a month, and then the next month is like 130 with 0 home runs, right? So that's what we're looking at here. And anybody that can make goals, right?
Well, yeah. I mean, obviously, we're seeing from the Quakes how we're getting multiple goals from multiple different players. But I mean, as far as Rios, if he's streaking now, I mean, we obviously will take him right now. I mean, we are, like I said, we keep talking about playoffs because this is the time. And if he's going to keep streaking, we're obviously going to take it right now.
Yeah, I mean, if Andy Rios, if he keeps scoring, do we bring in a striker?
I mean, we're going to eventually talk about is Wando coming back. I mean, that's a whole nother topic where we're going to go on. It's going to be a whole nother podcast dedicated to the Wando question.
Right.
So, Yeah, so I mean, we're not going too deep about that, obviously, today. But yeah, so obviously we'll get into detail, but probably we should be bringing another striker in.
Okay. Even so, let's say if Andy Rios bangs out 15 goals in this season, do we bring one in?
Well, I mean, look what Matias is bringing out there. He's putting Wando and Andy Rios, so it looks like he does want two strikers out there.
That's true. But Danny Husin should come back next year.
Yeah, but are you telling me Danny Houston's our next future striker? Is that what you're saying?
He was for a bit, right? We all like Pretty Boy Danny.
Like yeah, I mean, he is pretty, but like he never was that. He wasn't scoring that many pretty goals. I mean, it just doesn't seem like.
Oh, don't talk about Mr. Scored on Barcelona, Danny Husin. All right, you gotta.
How long ago was that? We're Quakes fans. We want goals now. We want goals for the Quakes. We don't care if he scored for anybody.
He probably has the most highlight videos on YouTube out of any Quakes player, right? So we definitely need to keep him around somewhat for those Brazilian fans out there on YouTube.
Yeah, I just want to see it more. I just felt like Danny Houston's just always been off and on, and I mean, obviously with all the different coaching changes, I feel like it's kind of been hard for him to get a fair shakedown. But I mean, we'll see. I mean, we'll give him a go, but I mean, someone's got to give him at least better competition. Then I mean, we got to bring in somebody.
Yeah, we definitely have to bring in someone. A player like Rui Diaz would be perfect. I mean, a proven striker in the Liga MX, but again, we're gonna be tied down by our pocketbook, right? So we definitely need to go into Matias's bag of tricks and see what we can get. Andy Rios is finally doing the job, and any hate that he got from me definitely was not deserved because he does have assists and he does have a lot of goals. But I was optimistic. I said it was coming, and the Andy Rios train is here. Everybody hop on. Come on, let's get on.
Yeah, that's what I was kind of been saying. I mean, I was remember listening to the podcast before I joined you guys, and you guys were just like, "Where's this Andy Rios, man?" And like you said, yeah, you're optimistic. You always kind of stay optimistic when it comes to the Quake. So yeah, it's definitely time to hop on the Andy Rios train. Hopefully, he just stays hot, so we don't have to bring him up in a bad way.
Yeah, definitely. I love the little goal celebration that all of them are doing now. They're looking up at the sky, and it seems like when we're winning, it's more of a team effort, right? So good form, good locker room makes it so that hopefully we make the playoffs. And then the last little tidbit here, we have line of defense. So the Quakes held the Sounders forward. Jordan Morris, we talked a little bit about this, without a single shot for the second time in his 14 starts this season. So we locked him down basically. He could have had a shot on goal. I know this stat's a little bit out of a way, but still no shots without a single shot. So for the second time in his 14 starts, Jordan Morris, does he make the next step? What do you think, Will?
Makes the next step as far as what?
Like Europe, getting out of the Sounders uniform.
I don't know. I mean, because it felt like he could have already before he really signed with the Sounders. So it sounded like he really wanted to be in the LMS. To say LMS, sorry, MLS. Right. And maybe I don't really think he wants to change. I mean, he's playing very well. They're probably going to give him more money. Obviously, he's performed that well. But, I mean, who knows? I don't know what team have you heard anything, any other Europe team really calling his name, trying to bring Jordan Morris to there?
I know there was a couple of things in Germany, just like Nick Nielma, but again, I'm just sick and tired of hearing that name just burn us every time we play them. So it's finally nice to see him shut down basically this whole game. And then we're going to give you guys a little bit of a Reno update. Reno fell to Phoenix Rising FC 5-4 in penalty kicks after drawing 2-2. I know Reno would score and take the lead through the first half, and Kevin Partida so had a great game. Shout out to my boy Kevin. Thanks for coming on. Hell of a season. You guys did great. Phoenix Rising should have been there, but we'll talk about that another time. But Ivan, I know, is really pissed because he's a San Diego Loyal fan, and once he's back, we'll talk about that too. But just things I've gone on this week. We have one more set of news. Gavin Newsom, I know, said that we could allow fans, but it's up to Santa Clara County to let fans in the stadium. And I know Santa Clara County was getting into it with Elon Musk, with Tesla's factories. So they might stand strong and not allow anybody to go to the games still, even though Gavin Newsom has lightened up those restrictions. Will, would you go to a playoff game in this time right now?
As much as I would want to, I don't know. I mean, it's a tough time for everybody, and I don't know. Santa Clara County has been one of the tougher counties compared to
Right.
San Mateo and the other ones around. But so we'll see if they even let it happen. But I mean, comfort at my house might be safe right now. It's just a
Yeah.
safer play.
Well, that's my whole thing about the cars. I would love to go support in my car, but the only thing is you don't really get a good angle, right? You're watching it on a TV at the stadium. So that's the only gripe I have. I'd rather watch, just because we look at it a little more tactically sometimes, I like to watch the spacing and things like that on a TV that's a little closer to me. That's just my opinion. But if you guys love going to the games, keep on going. We love hearing your horns honk. We love that you support the team even through these hard times, and we thank you for it. And hey, I want to say thank you to our 3 Patreoners. You guys do great. We are almost at being self-sufficient, so that we don't have to pay anything out of pocket to have this podcast. And we do want to reach that goal. So if you want to follow our Patreon and support this podcast, if you like it, to listen to it, we would truly appreciate. The link will be in the description. We thank everybody and all your guys' input, all the support that we get. I just want to get a quick second before I forget to make sure that you guys are appreciated. But let's kind of get into the meat and potatoes. You ready, Will?
Oh, yeah.
All right. So this game, we got a little bit into it, but then I took us a little off course. But a little bit, this next game, right, against Vancouver, Will, we were talking about this a little bit before our podcast, is a pretty big game. What do you think is going to happen? Why is it so important?
Well, I mean, first off, anyone that's looking at the standings, I mean, Vancouver's in a playoff spot. I mean, that's first off. I mean,
Yeah.
it's crazy because Vancouver was at the bottom basically, and I talked about how wild the West is right now. A prior podcast, and Vancouver proved that point to be in the playoff spot. So this is obviously one of the biggest games for the Quakes this season.
Right. I think it's going to come down to this, right? I'm looking at Colorado in the standings right now and thinking they have 6 more games. So either we need to be in the 6th or 5th position to be guaranteed, because we do have 2 more games on Minnesota, and I believe the other team above us, let me just bring it back up, is FC Dallas. So they have 17 games played. Well, we have 19. I don't know how it's going to go down. What do you think is going to happen? Do you think Colorado's going to get their games in? What's going on?
I don't think so. I'm surprised the MLS it has not, figured out what they're doing with Colorado yet. I know they're pushing it, but no games have been played yet. I think their season should be over. I mean, they obviously stopped FC Dallas, for the
Right.
MLS back tournament. So I think it's kind of it's got a point where they're obviously not doing the right things to get back on the field.
Yeah. Imagine if you're the Colorado Rapids, you're streaking, right? You're in a playoff spot before you get hit by COVID, and that's just so unfortunate. They were on the upswing. So if they're not going to let them play their games, then that's unfortunate. I want to know what happens to all the games that they were going to play, right? Are they all losses? Are they all 3 points for the other team? So this playoff push might be one of the hardest playoff pushes that the San Jose Earthquakes have ever had. And it all weighs down. I know we're on an upward swing, but we had some really bad losses not too long ago. But it seems like if we do make the playoffs, that is all forgiven, forgotten, right?
Yeah, I mean, for the Quakes and for how the season's been, and for 2020, I mean, for the Quakes to end up in the playoff spot is 100% a win season.
Yeah, going back to the 0-0 game, Will, against Seattle, any stud and any dud for you?
I'm going to go with just kind of the whole team effort, right? I mean, We're holding Seattle to, a big 0. And like you said, Jordan Morris without any shots on goal. I mean, obviously, that just shows how the defense is playing. I mean, so I'm going to go with a full team effort for the game there.
Yeah, so I'm going to go with Florian Ljungberg just for not becoming a highlight reel. You're my stud. Good job. You're a great leader on the field. I've never seen someone so hyped to play defense, and that's what I love to see from Flo. Every time he clears the ball or gets a good hit on it to make sure that they don't score, he's a great Quake. I hope he stays for a long time. Any duds for you, Will?
No, I can't really give a dud after I just complimented the whole team, right?
Yeah, yeah. For any done on Seattle?
I guess we have to go with Jordan Morris, right? I
Right.
mean, we've been calling his name out all day, and so I think he has to be with 0 shots. I mean,
Yeah. It's horrible, right? I mean, you're one of the superstars in the MLS. So getting shut down, you get the dud for both of us. Jordan Morris, Stanford, graduate, you got to do a little bit better to beat us, right? So Quakes, great job. Jordan Morris, do better since you're a local guy. We like you, right? No.
a little bit.
Yeah, just a tad. Just come play for the Quakes, just like Sebastian Lletget. Please, just come back. Come back. You're a San Francisco native. Don't play for LA anymore. But looking into this Vancouver game, what do you think we have to do to win? What's the Quakes you want to see? The Jekyll and Hyde Quakes. Which one do you want to see?
Well, the same ones that played the Vancouver last time, right? I mean,
Yeah.
we 3-0 win, if I'm not mistaken, last time we played Vancouver.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Hopefully we can draw a couple more red cards.
Yeah.
But I feel like we're going to see a completely different team from Vancouver. They did in the first half, at least the first half of the half. They pressured well. They put some chances on. So I expect Vancouver to push heavy again. They are a team that kind of likes to do that. They kind of like to go at you right away, right when the first whistle blows. So we'll see a lot of that. So hopefully we just kind of weather the storm and just put on some goals. We need from anyone. I don't know who's going to score, but anybody, please score.
Right. Yeah. We need to assert our dominance on Vancouver. I know a lot of people put us in the same category as RSL, Vancouver, all these teams that don't want to spend money, but we just need to assert our dominance. We need to let them know that we are the playoff team and they are not, just like the last time. Let's not play like we did at MLS's back versus them. This Mark Dos Santos team can sneak up on you. They have some speedy guys and they have a great counterattack as we saw in the MLS's back tournament. But again, this is a huge game. Let me read off a little bit of stats. The Quakes hold a 4-0-0 record in their last 4 meetings with the Whitecaps, scoring at least 3 goals in each of them. So, Will, that right there is dominance, and we need to keep that trend going. The Earthquakes and the Whitecaps are separated in the standings by just 3 points. Both clubs are above the playoff line, like we were saying, in 7th and 8th place. Quakes forward Chris Wondolowski has scored 14 goals in his career against Vancouver. No other player in MLS history has more than 6. So maybe we see a Wando on the score sheet. I know we would all love that.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, every Quake fan would love to see Wando score, and I think Wando would love that just because it's been a while for him.
Yeah, this is a little interesting tidbit right here. San Jose will actually be traveling north to face Vancouver at Providence Park, home of Portland Timbers, because we actually can't travel into Vancouver. So we don't play good in Portland, I'm going to be honest with you. So maybe it gets in the heads of our players and they think they're playing Portland, but we should definitely get a win here. I am going to predict a 3-1 win. What about you, Will?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, 3 does sound like the right number, right? I mean, like you said, you read off the stat that 3 goals would be it. I expect a little tougher game from them. I'm expecting like a 2-1 win.
Okay. Yeah, they're streaking right now, so we're gonna be facing a better team, and they know they're in the playoffs, so they're gonna give us their best shot, right? They know that this is a must-win game, playoff game for both teams, right? So I'm hoping we get a Quakes team that's ready to play, ready to go, ready to dominate. I'm going to say Andy Rios on the score sheet, Will. I'm going to say Wando with 2 goals. So that's my 3 goals. Who do you have scoring?
I'm going to go with Espinoza.
Okay.
I like Espinoza plays against Vancouver. And, I'll double back on you just because we're hopping on that Rios train. We're hopping on that Rios train, and we're going to go with Andy Rios.
Okay, Espinoza Rios. I like it. Speaking of Espinoza, he's going to be making his 5th MLS appearance against Vancouver on Saturday. So I have a question for you, Will. How many appearances will Espinoza have before he's sold?
Never. He's never getting sold. How dare you? How dare you bring that up? No.
So 300, just like Wando?
Yeah. Well, 300 is probably very unrealistic. I mean, it's going to be hard to match Wando, but I would hope we do not sell Espinoza. I mean, he is our bread and butter.
Okay.
Like, he cannot go.
Over under 115.
How many is he at now?
50.
Ooh.
That's under, right? That has to be under. Okay, let's go 100. Over under 100.
over, man. I'm optimistic, man.
All right. Hey, if someone comes up with the 8 million offer or 9 million offer, they're selling him, no doubt.
Yeah, I mean, that's true, but what are we going to do with it, man? What are we going to do with all that money?
Hey, you know what we're going to do? We're going to build more gaps, okay? We're going to build more Gap stores, have one at the stadium, maybe a Banana Republic, all right? That's what we're going to do with that money, okay?
Exactly. It's not a player. Yeah.
You know what I'm thinking they're going to do? They're going to offer a brand new beer, all right, at the North America's largest outdoor bar, all right?
Yeah.
So actually, I saw a little thing. Sacramento released their plans for a stadium, right? And theirs is fully closed. So we're still going to be the largest North American outdoor bar. But a little bummed, right? Because a closed stadium does create a great environment, kind of like LAFC's or even Seattle. Seattle playing a football stadium, but it's great, right? They fill it out. Yeah. So
we'll see with Sacramento.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. I mean, this rivalry is going to happen whether you like it or not. I just hope they don't poach a lot of our talent, right? Because Cade Cowell, I believe, came from that area where it's like, is it the Bay Area or is it Sac area, right? Oh, I think he's from I'm losing where he's from. But I don't want to lose guys like Cade. All right, Will, here's another one for you. Cade Cowell, over under 50 starts before they sell him.
I mean, it's hard now when we're talking about
he got linked to Barcelona already. So if you guys haven't heard, he's already linked to Barcelona.
That's what I'm saying. So after I heard that link, now 50 starts, right?
50 starts.
Oh, I'm probably gonna go with the under.
Under, right? What's the selling point for you? If you're the owner of the team, what do you sell at?
$5 million.
$5 million? Okay, really? That's low, man. That's like.
You just said 8 and 9 for Espinoza, man. I mean,
but Cade Cowell's 17. You got to realize that he's 17.
Yeah, that's true. It is. I'm sorry, man. I don't know. I don't want him to get sold.
Hey, I know you're probably in the same boat as a lot of Quakes fans right now. We are a selling club, guys. I hate to break it to you. We want to be like Borussia Dortmund. We don't want to be like the PSG. So love these guys while you can, and love all the new guys, but it's going to be cool finding out what they do in their careers, right? We're still going to be fans of those players when they move on. So just a heads up, we are a selling club. That's hands down. If a bid comes in for Cade Cowell for, let's say $5 million, do you think they take it?
I don't see why they wouldn't take it.
Yeah, right. You have to take that. If you're the Quakes and you put him in for less than a year, right? It's been a year, and he's $5 million. You can't say no to that. Maybe I'll try for $7 million, but still, I don't know. $5 million is hard. It's hard.
Yeah, I just hope they just do something with it. That's all.
Yeah. You know what they can do? Maybe make some more seats. I always thought that 18,000 seats was a lot less than it should be. I know Sacramento's going to have close to 22,000. So if Sacramento can have a better, outing than we can, that's going to be bad, guys. That's bad. But maybe we build that Wando stadium or Wando statue with that money. So maybe us Quakes fans get what we really wanted, right? We get a Wando statue, right? We really want that.
No players, just a Wando statue. That's all we wanted in life.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, so we kind of went over the Vancouver game. We don't have any fan questions today since this is kind of like an impromptu. I'm sorry, guys. I've been living out here in Japan, getting accommodated. I didn't know you had to make your own floor, so that was kind of a culture shock. I'm in an apartment. You can't even put your things on the floor. You have to make a floor and then put your things on them. But it's been great out here. I'm glad to be back here with Will. Will, before we go, I'm going to have a couple of questions for you, right, since we don't have any fan questions. Are you ready?
All right, let's see. What do you got?
All right, so what we're going to do is some Quakes general questions, okay? Favorite Quakes moment?
Okay, my favorite Quake moment.
Mm-hmm.
Easy. The Victor Bernardes free kick against LA in the playoff game for the win.
Okay, that's a good moment. Yeah. That's awesome. Okay, favorite Quakes player of all time?
Victor Bernardes.
Victor Bernardes. Really? Okay, so we had a nice little. I actually had a chance to interview him a little bit. Very good guy. He is doing a lot of coaching right now. He wants to be a coach and eventually maybe be a coach for Quakes Academy. I know he's doing a lot for Oakland Roots. So He's still in the area for all you fans that like Victor Bernardes. Favorite Quakes meal? So meaning before the game, at the stadium, what's something you do on Quakes Day every single time?
Let's see. Going to the Quake Stadium, obviously, you gotta go to one of the food trucks.
Okay.
You gotta go, because I mean, it's one of the. Yeah. I'm always a guy that likes to try new things. I can't. Obviously, it's been since February since the last time I went to a game, but for the opening day. But so yeah, I mean, I can't name a one. Sorry, I can't shout out a food truck. My bad, guys. But and then after, of course, get a beer at the bar. And definitely just enjoy the atmosphere. I mean, yes, you were talking about how it's only 18,000 seats, but it's a beautiful stadium at the end of the day.
Definitely. Yeah, definitely. So where do you get your beer? Do you do it at the outdoor bar, or do you do it at the international, like the German kind of thing in the supporter side?
Yeah, I like to go try to do it at the big outdoor bar. I mean, it's there for a reason, right? It's the biggest outdoor bar. Yeah. So you gotta go grab a beer there at least.
Yeah, I'm gonna give all of our Quakes fans that listen to this podcast a nice little tidbit. All right, I go to the game. I park outside of Santa Clara's Cal train station. All right. And you just walk over to the game. Save parking. So everybody that's a Tectonic Takes fan, you're going to save some parking now, right? You can save a little cash. So you can buy yourself a beer on the inside. But that's what I do. There's a little tunnel now, and then you walk down Quakes Way, and you get to the stadium. Nice little trick if you don't want to pay for parking for any of you guys out there. But a little insight. And then favorite Quakes active player, Will?
Between right now, it would be like a solid Espinoza or JT.
Okay.
Just because, it's good to see, a solid goalkeeper. That's what I used to play.
Right.
So seeing a goalkeeper doing well right now, it's always good to see.
That's awesome. Okay. And then first Quake to leave this team.
Like next season?
Next season, get sold. Yeah.
Gets sold? First player to get sold. Whew. That's a great question. I feel like it's really tough. Let's see. We're going with got to think of someone. Just get right off the top here.
Cal, Espinoza, Jackson Newell are the top three that I would say. Fierro.
We just. I was gonna say Fierro, if anyone, because I want to keep Espinoza. I can't say we're gonna sell Espinoza. Yeah. We just re-signed Ewell or extended Ewell.
That's true.
So
That's true. He's not going anywhere.
We don't want him to go anywhere. And then obviously I don't want Cade to go anywhere, but probably it would be Cade or Fierro.
Yeah, I'm thinking Fierro starts to perform a little bit. Maybe some of the bigger Liga MX teams start to look at Fierro and maybe want to bring him back in. Oh, Chicharito Hernandez might be going to Chivas. So, did you hear about that news? You hear that little?
He's coming to the Quakes?
No. Javier Hernandez is going to Chivas. Yeah.
It was a joke. Yeah. He's coming to the Quakes.
No, to be honest.
Why not? Why wouldn't
he might have better service here? Now that I think about it, I think there's better wing play, right? Oh, he has Pavan though. I mean, if you can't score with Pavan on your team, what are you doing?
Well, I mean, maybe he's kind of like a Wando player, right? Like Ivan was talking about how he scores just inside the box. That's what Wando does, of course.
Yeah, exactly. And then another question I had for you was, what player would you like to bring in a Quakes jersey, right? You kind of beat me to it. You want Javier Hernandez, but what realistic transfer target do you think we could get?
I mean, I feel like I always want to say no one because it doesn't seem like the Quakes do that. Yeah. Right. But so, I mean, it's really tough to be like, oh yeah, this guy's on our transfer list. I mean, obviously we'll want a lot of different players that are bigger names that we just we won't even shoot for. So it's kind of hard to be like, to find lower tier guys in our, to think of. But if Chicharito is out there and we can afford him, I would love it. I think, and it was just because I feel like Quakes haven't really brought that big name. I've seen all these other MLS teams are grabbing that bigger name. Exactly. And I think it would be nice also. And then he plays for us and he scores against the Galaxy and they're like, where's that? Where did you get that?
Yeah. Right. How did you score? Right. Kind of like a reverse Bingham, right? Nah, that's never going to happen. Man. Reverse Alan Gordon. Nah, it's never going to happen.
Exactly.
And then My last question to you is going to be, what next homegrown player makes an impact, meaning start a lot?
I would well, I mean, are we not including Cade, or are we not including?
No, Cade's already kind of like a starter.
Okay.
I would say.
Okay.
We're talking
Then
about like Gilbert Fuentes, right? We're talking
Yeah.
about Siad Haji. That's a homegrown?
No, that was a draft pick.
Oh, okay. Or maybe what young guy do you think is going to become a full-blown starter? Tanner Beeson doesn't count. Cade doesn't count. All the guys that are always in the 11, right?
Right. I would assume, I guess it would be Fuentes. He has been getting more of the nods compared to, the rest of them, the other guys. But so I assume Fuentes would be the one to get.
Yeah, I would say Fuentes. I'm hoping, since, I'm a Kevin Partita fan, and he's had a great season at USL or Reno USL, that we bring him in. It won't hurt. He's a little older, but doesn't matter. He can be, kind of groom the guys that are coming up, and I think him and Eric would have a good tandem in the midfield. They're good friends. They have a good relationship. I want to see Kevin back in the Quakes lineup, but as a midfielder instead of a back. So hopefully they do something with the Reno guys, because I know there's another actual league coming in, a developmental league, and we're going to see what happens with Reno USL. And that kind of wraps it up for us. Thanks, guys, for going ahead and listening to us weekly. We released the Quincy Amarikwa Part 2 interview, and we appreciate you guys listening to that stuff too. And I want to give a quick shout out to Will. Thank you for joining me, and also the Beautiful Game Network for sponsoring us, as well as Roughneck Scarves. If you're looking for scarves, please check them out. We appreciate all their support. And you have any final words, Will? Do you have anything to say?
Yeah, no, I know this was a quick one. We could have gone over a lot more stuff. It'd be interesting just to see real quick what the lineup's going to look like, because we do get Kasia and Vaco back.
Ooh,
right? So
yeah,
that's going to be what Matthias is going to bring, especially against we're trying to go all out against Vancouver. But, like I said, it was a quick one today for you guys, Quakes fans. But at the end of the day, everyone better be watching on Saturday here against Vancouver.
Yeah, it's going to be a huge game. This is a must-win. I want to see Vaco out there. I definitely do, even if it's as a sub. I do like to see his creativeness on the pitch when guys are tired. And if we need 3 goals, definitely Vaco can supply some of them. I know he does great for Georgia, but forgets how to play with us right now. So
yeah, that's why we didn't get into that.
It seems like he trusts his Georgian players more, which is another whole topic, why Vaco didn't work out as a DP with us. He worked out as a player, just a little overpaid. But again, wrapping things up here, I want to thank all you guys for listening. We love all your support. We are on Patreon, so I want to give a quick shout out to everybody that is subscribed. We are very close to making this podcast self-sufficient, meaning paying for Zoom. I know Zoom is a little expensive, as well as paying for getting us up on iTunes and Spotify. So if you guys would like to sponsor us, we would greatly appreciate it. We want to be able to be a bigger media source of Quakes content, and that would help us greatly. Again, this is Favi from Tectonic Takes, and I'm here with
Will, man.
yeah.
Will the Thrill, man.
Yeah. Will the Thrill, baby. Let's go. But I want to say thank you guys, and go Quakes.
Yeah, go Quakes.